Right. We're back. Another week of doing the Trash Cast. I'm the host, Matthias, joined by the boys.
John.
And from the warp back is Travis. Hello.
Yes.
You guys
Welcome
returned.
back. We've missed you.
Here for a spicy episode.
It's a dynamic.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun episode today. Gonna test your 7th edition knowledge for you guys if you remember it.
I'm so ready.
I can never forget.
Call it a threesome for a reason, baby. Let's do it.
Did you guys do any hobbying? Any games?
We're doing lots of gaming with my group. We're really getting into it. Mostly 1,000-point games, since I think I'm the only one who's consistently played before this edition. So we're kind of getting our feet wet. And it's fun. People like trying lists out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. It's been good. That the 10-point fully painted thing is the funniest thing ever. So many games are like, by the way, I win because I'm fully painted.
Oh no.
You're such a monster doing that to
I am a
newbies like
monster.
that.
BT dubs, get out, you trash.
Or it's like, oh man, close game. You're only up by 5 points. Nah, I'm up by 15. GG, loser.
Nah, it's over. This game was decided as soon as we placed the first model. What about you,
Set by a can of
Travis?
spray paint. I finally received my package from definitely Forge World, 100% not China. Of the Holy Golden Boys. So
Nice.
I haven't decided if I'm going to attempt to have Paulo help me with that project or not.
Hey. Paul's my guy. You get your own guy.
I have my guy. He builds a resin for me.
Oh baby, but yeah. So I'm excited to build that. I got 9 of the Aquilons, 9 Venatari, and then a Achilles and a Telemon with all the options.
I don't know what
Nice.
any of that means.
Well, that's what John's here for.
Yeah, actually, I have a question for you. How are you arming your Venatari? Because I'm in dilemma with that one.
In my current version of the list that I have been messing around with for just for cheapness, I've been messing with the spears, but I really, really want the bucklers because the shoot twice with this pistol and the bucklers are so good. But yeah, I'm gonna magnetize them, but you know.
Okay, for sure. For you guys who don't know, we're talking about the Flash Gordon flying guys.
Yes,
So it is with the wings.
the Rocketeer boys.
Yeah, well, unfortunately didn't get much hobbying done. I started a little bit on my Necromunda, but work's been a bit crazy for me.
Okay.
Now
Sure.
I've got the legs and torsos ready for my gang, so they're ready for proxy when for learning my gang and how to play Necromunda when that day comes.
Nice. What gang did you settle on?
I went with Corpse Grinders.
Yeah, of course. They're so cool looking.
Hell yeah, man. They It's a shame you weren't there on that stream. Talked strictly about Necromunda.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when my gaming group finally decides on it and decides to read the rules, I'll be ready. Kind of.
Yeah.
My body. Ready.
Wait, no, it's it. Anyways, we've got a few things to talk about.
Hey.
I know you guys are all big video game players
True.
because
Now the video games are for nerds. Warhammer for life.
well, I don't know how much you guys are into the whole VR experience thing, but good old Warhammer graced us with a new VR game.
Oh, is this true? Okay.
You got
Sisters of Battle one, right?
Battle Sister, yeah.
Oh, right. The game, right.
It's not. You're not gonna find it on any adult sites. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's the VR. I don't know. Have you guys done a lot of VR games or VR in general?
Not really.
Personally, I don't have like a setup, but my I have a buddy who does, and he enjoys it very much. So I've done a couple things, but I mean, eh.
Does it tickle your fancy, Travis?
No, not really. I don't like to be motion sick if the game totally sucks ass.
Well, then I mean, I'd be a little worried.
Oh no.
I don't know. The game looks like PS2 graphics. I'm just saying.
Looks like PS what graphics?
PS2 graphics.
Oh man.
Oof. Big oof.
It doesn't. I mean, all in all, the graphics can be forgiven if the gameplay is fun, right? Majority of the time. But usually, yeah. But I'm playing the video right now on stream, and it's rough. I like 40K games, but unfortunately, the video game market is not kind to the IP.
What the fuck is this? Oh no.
And yeah, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Let's say I'm not too excited. Not that I have a VR of my own to play, but
if this game came out in 2007, I'd be hyped as fuck, bro.
Yeah. Hype as fuck to get that PS2 graphic? No. 2007, that's PS3, bro.
Yeah, no, but then you're only one behind instead of, what is this now, 3 behind technically?
So it's a pass to get the Oculus Rift. Spend that $400 on this whole gaming system.
Think about the $400 of plastic crack I could have instead.
Think of all the Forge World you could buy. You could buy like one model.
Yeah, exactly. Brought to you by ChinaCast. Yeah.
Oh, that'd just be half off. You could probably get like 2 models off that price.
I can get a Phantom Titan, bro. Fuck yeah, dude.
And then get deleted by an Imperial Fist player turn 1. That's what's up.
By one squad of intercessors.
Oh, that'd be bull, right?
Oh god.
Oh god. Oh god.
All right. Well, I wanted to just bring that up quickly.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, if it's good, it's good. Like, you know, as long as like we still get Total War games. I mean, Dawn of War is dead, but Total War is our only saving grace at this point. But we'll see.
Yeah,
really.
It's the sad part about Dawn of War.
Yeah, turned into a meme, baby.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I definitely will not be one of the first buyers. So moving on to the what is this called? Sunday Preview Crusading Intro, the tactical terrain and Nexus and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks pretty light.
It is pretty light. You know, you got the first Crusade book.
I might get this. Once again, podcast number I don't know. John has yet to play Crusade.
I believe we're on episode 9 now, so you know it's been about 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I think we started just before 9th edition. Well, I mean 9th edition isn't even out yet. But I know. But I'm wrong. It is out. I mean, the new books haven't come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're all there. We all want to play Crusade.
But, you know. I'm probably gonna get it just because it's more Crusade stuff. And I think like just having more stuff off the bat when you start, it's never a bad idea. More options and whatnot. So yeah. I mean, I'm excited for this, I would say.
Is this like what was that book in 30K that you got hype for? Is it this level of hype? Is this like a day 1 stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning buy?
No, this is more like
his black book.
Bored on Saturday. And I remember this exists. I'll pre-order it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got
Speaking of that book you stayed up till 1 a.m. for, I heard it's a little bit bigger or taller and a little bit thinner than all the other books.
Oh my gosh, dude! We should show the picture.
well,
it is like I took a picture, I posted it on a Facebook group, and has like 1 million likes. As like because I have all of them, and the difference is staggering. It's really small compared to the other ones. And I wouldn't. I mean, I'm gonna get it anyway, but it's like it's the same price as the old ones with like 100 pages less of content. I mean, the content is the same kind of quality. I mean, we'll talk about it later. the stuff in it. But yeah, it's forgot to eat or something. I swear, it is a skinny book.
You know, I was getting bullied about how thick it was, and started going the wrong way, the bulimia route.
Oh no.
Oh, poor Black Book.
That's so funny, dude.
All right.
It also doesn't have the Games Workshop logo on like all of them, and the OCD people are just losing their minds.
Oh, dude. I mean, I would for $130 book or whatever. I'd fucking send hate mail.
Well, moving on to the next book, we got the chapter approved tactical deployment master terrain to control the battlefield. Isn't that fun, guys? Don't you want to bring your own terrain?
No.
Not only do you have to bring, you know, let's just say you're an IG player. Not only you got to bring all those guardsmen in, now you got to bring your own terrain.
Dude, oh my god.
Get that tactical advantage.
This is beyond the dumbest thing I've seen in quite a while. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about this. This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because no one's gonna do it.
That's the funniest part, is this isn't just like, you know, nobody checked the rules before they released Space Marines at the end of 8th level stupid. This is just like so dumb. It's not even, no one's gonna do this. No one. Just everybody's like, nah, man, fuck that shit.
Is this destroying the world of fantasy stupid levels, or just stupid?
Yeah, it's just useless. It's just like, ugh, okay, glad you wasted the ink to print these.
Could have used the paper to print like more codexes. I don't know.
That could have been one Xenos Codex coming out before the end of the year. Games Workshop, just saying.
And we already got the one Xenos. It's the Necrons.
Oh god, I meant one more. Poor Necron. Oh god.
All right, and then we got the terrain battle sheet cards.
Oh baby.
Get all those pipe data sheet cards. Feels like GW is laying down the pipe in us. These prices.
Yeah. Nah, bro, it's so cheap and affordable. Look at it. Yeah.
I don't want to look at the money I would waste on this.
No, I like MDF terrain. It's much better. Save money on models, or save my money for models. Most of the time, anyway.
There you go. And then again, they're releasing the same terrain, different box set.
Yeah.
More pipes. Really love these pipes.
I mean, it does look really good. Games Workshop terrain is always really high quality. It's always really nice, but it's just, you know, it's not practical. It's only practical on like a run it at your own house on your own table sort of thing, because like, you know, that'll never catch on at tournaments because it's just too goddamn expensive. And so the point of doing the bring your own terrain stuff makes no sense, because nobody's doing this at tournaments. No one. Ain't nobody buying this stuff.
Yeah, and I'd highly doubt. I mean, not that any of us would know, but I mean, even if they did this at the local GW store, I mean, no one would even do that.
Yeah,
I don't even think GW would allow you to bring your own terrain, right? Unless it's painted.
That's just GW, yeah.
And oh yeah, and it has to be GWs.
Yep.
So I mean, again, terrain looks good. But I don't think I'd spend, you know, $70 for a lot of pipe, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No.
I'm sure someone will get it. Maybe 5 people.
I'm sure.
Apollo.
Yeah, don't be. We got more terrain.
They'll send him a discount code if we name drop him.
And then they're bringing back the crates from the kill zone, right? And where these things made their debut.
I think so.
Yeah, those are cool.
So they're bringing these back. I have a couple of these, thanks to Kill Team. I said Kill Zone, I meant Kill Team. Get those painted up. Feels nice. We got Forge World. You guys are the Titan experts. You guys tell me. It's cool. This is awesome.
I mean, I play Adeptus Mechanicus. I think actual Titans are just a waste of space and just like a terrible use of resin. But
yeah, They're like the midlife crisis model. They're like, instead of the old guy he doesn't buy a Corvette, he buys this.
They're cool. They're just so impractical, especially after you play, like, if you ever play Adeptus Titanicus, where because it's smaller scale, so it's actually you actually maneuver your Titans. You do flanking, you do like line shots, you do some cool tactical maneuvers. But if you have an actual 40k scale Titan, you're plopping that in your deployment zone and rolling dice. Like that's it. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's meant for like a really niche, like it's mostly a show off collector item, and like for dudes who want to go to LVO and only participate in like fluffy apocalypse battles or whatever the hell, which is really cool. If that's your thing, cool. By all means, more power to you. But I'm good.
I'm good. Even if I had the money for this, I would just rather just get an army.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what I feel about my Titan.
But this thing is really sick looking, and the paint job is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
because black and yellow flames, hard to beat that.
Whenever it's painted and it looks good, always a good sell.
But that's the thing, you could do that in Titanicus and not spend $1 trillion and just spend like $50 or $60.
Hey man, true, if I had to go with any of my tournament experience, I mean, you could just bring a Adeptus Titanicus model and just put that on the board, and it'll be fine. It'll be legal.
Oh my gosh!
Call it whatever you want. Who cares?
Whatever you want. Yeah, of course that's a Titan. No big deal. It's fine. Judge looks at it. Judge looks at it. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's cool.
Fuck 'em.
Fuck it, whatever. Black Library.
Nazi Terra. I don't care.
Got their what is this? Their detective series thing. Flesh and Steel.
I will probably listen to this because I like Guy Haley and I like audiobooks, but it's again super niche. It's like they have a crime novel section, but it's just like, is your target audience people who listen to like Barnes and Noble crime novels? Like, I don't know like what this is for, like why they're breaking it down instead of just writing stuff, but whatever.
I want to expand the universe,
Hey man, I mean,
don't you want to know what it's like to be in the life of a detective in the 40k universe?
It'd be funny if it was that, except it's a Xenos race, like Necron's investigating some murder. That'd be hilarious.
I would read the bejesus out of that. That sounds fantastic.
It's like the local destroyer called doing shenanigans.
The canoptic wraiths are going haywire because they're snorting too much crystal Catan shard and shit.
It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's good.
Just read Eisenhorn.
I mean, Eisenhorn's better. Just you could probably skip over the guy.
Yeah. Out of who? Don't even remember his name.
Eisenhorn's cool, man, but I'm just saying he wasn't there the day the skies turned dark and the War Master's fleet was over the throne room. Just saying.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
I actually forgot the name of that other guy. I think I actually mentally blocked him out.
Salmon Man? I can't remember.
That's literally all I remember him as, is the Salmon Man.
The fucking space potato.
I'm the best psyker ever. Let me turn into a salmon and run away.
It's so good. It's extra fresh. Get him with that ahi tuna, bro. But anyways, we don't talk about Ravner here. He's awful.
There you go. All right, and then the last bit of news came out is the core units and character and aura ability.
Oh boy!
Now I remember you made a joke last time, John, about how with the keyword core being there, that fantasy was coming back. Well,
yeah, score bases.
Now we got some real proof here. The core unit key.
Yeah, so you want to take it off, Matt, or
please, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this.
So for you listeners who haven't seen this yet, so essentially there's a new keyword called core, and it's supposed to represent first of all troop units and some other units that could be elites, could be fast attack, could be heavy support that quote unquote form the core of the army. So it seems that a lot of abilities only affect core units. For example, the famous one that they use is the captain's reroll ones to hit aura. Now only affects core units. So the example they use, or the fluff reason, is that a captain wouldn't be really inspiring a tank to like shoot better, right? or he wouldn't which is one big part of it. And the other big part is he no longer inspires himself. He doesn't reroll, so captains don't reroll hits on 2s anymore, at least through this aura. Maybe they have an ability that lets them do that, but as far as we know, their aura, they are no longer affected by their aura ability because they're not a core unit.
So
And
spicy.
HQs characters nearby aren't affected by it either.
Yeah, I hope it's gonna definitely change up the system.
I'd say so. I mean, it's clearly a nerf to like vehicle armies, especially for Space Marines, because unless Tech Marines reroll 1s, maybe then nothing really changes significantly,
Yeah.
But what do you guys like it? Do you think it's weird? Do you think like is it like negligible in the grand scheme of things, kind of thing?
It's gonna be very dramatic.
See, I feel like the same way about this as I did when they brought out chapter approved at the end of 8th edition when they nerfed like aberrants and shit. But like during the heat of the Space Marine utter like 80% win rate dominance, where it's just like, cool, aberrants were good 6 months ago. Where the hell have you been? And it's just like nobody's running like triple repulsor lists or like centurions are already out of favor, so they don't need rerolls there. Most things are shifting because the game has shifted to holding objectives and playing the mission. There isn't really that. Nobody's really running the armies that are like the huge shooty castles. So it nerfs those, yes, but those aren't really being played anymore.
Right.
So I think it's a cool thing. I think it should have been here for a while, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll be impactful in terms of the future, but I don't think it'll make a big change right away because I don't think many armies are going to be using non-core units but depending on lots of rerolls at the same time.
Yeah, I think it'll have a big impact, at least from the more vehicle heavy list out there.
Yeah.
Because everyone was saying that 9th edition was going to bring back all the tanks just because of how powerful tanks are going to be. And I mean, for Space Marines, just taking a cheap lieutenant and captain, and all they did was just sit by their whirlwinds, thunderfire cannons, whatever, and just get those rerolls going. And not being able to affect that, I mean, it's definitely gonna. I would suspect it might change it more or less from vehicle and more foot troops now.
Yeah. Which I think is definitely where the metal will be headed anyway.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're saying, like how vehicles are good. Like hilariously, is one of the only armies that's still using them. Like a big vehicle castle of any kind is probably like Dark Eldar with the triple Ravagers, but not really anybody is using that anyway. So, you just spam venoms stuff like that. But like with the new 3-wound heavy intercessors, like what do you need vehicles for when all your troops are on the table and just don't die?
That is true. I mean, I wasn't really factoring in all new units because you weren't. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
Annoying. Unit 3 health unit troop.
T5 baby.
T5.
I mean, I think this just reinforces the idea that 9th edition is less a core rules change and more just like revamping how entire armies work. So
yeah,
it's new and I like it because it's new. I mean, I play Space Marines and this is definitely going to affect my armies, but it's like change I like. Again, it forces you to like rethink how you build armies and whatnot, which is cool. I like it. Not complaining.
I agree. I like the fact that it will force a lot of change into the armies now. So I mean, really, the only ones who used anything to buff their vehicles, Space Marine, just with the cheap lieutenant and the cheap captain. But now, who knows if a cheap captain and lieutenant combo will still be around? I mean, they did get a lot of options coming in 9th, so could be spending those elsewhere.
Yeah, this will constrict the list building a little bit, but yeah, I don't think it'll be too crazy. Although I am super curious why it's like just coming out now, even though the edition is officially rolled out.
Wait, you
'Cause
talking
it's
about the core or aura?
the whole core aura thing is just like because that's not an army specific ability, so it's just really interesting that ninth has been fully rolled out in terms of the main rulebook, but this hasn't been yet and is only coming out now.
I think it's because it's not really like a rule book thing. It's just another keyword that
That's
is
fair.
kind of self sufficient. Let's say in that sense, but I think it leads to another point of who knows what other kind of like not shenanigans, like surprise stuff are going to be rolled out in that's
That's fair.
independent from the rule book, right? Like who knows,
Yeah.
could be a way like a complete revamp of how certain things work, kind of thing. We may see like pulling out of my hat, like maybe we'll see like more weapons with splash damage, like the Dark Angel or Death Guard flail. Stuff like that, right? That's independent of the rule book, but it's just super different and could be placed in the codex data sheet entry kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I will hope more of these important keywords start rolling out faster. Start and have an idea of what or speculate, for other armies what units, what exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to be having any more surprises.
Oh, there will be plenty of surprises this year, I feel like.
Well, I mean, if it goes into like army specific stuff, that's fine. If it's like core is going to be a general rule.
Yep.
Nice to know what other general rules would be hiding out.
Right.
It feels like something because, like, just like you said, it's not necessarily a core rule, but like kind of like how blast weapons are reworked now.
Yeah.
Like they made a list with every weapon that was on it, and it's like they could have done that with this too. You know what I mean? So it's just like it feels. I don't know. It just feels awkward to me that they're releasing it now,
Right.
rather than like just at the
In
beginning.
rulebook.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels awkward, but I mean, we'll see what happens.
But you gotta give them some slack. Okay, they're a small indie company, just getting their foot in the water.
They made no money last year at all.
They're struggling business.
God, heavy intercessors make me sick to my stomach just looking at them.
Yeah, that's we went over that last time.
They're so sexy though.
Good.
But anyways.
So we brought up the thin book. Have a good old 30K here. I know John wants to talk about it because he waited till 1:00 in the morning to buy this book.
It's actually
Finally,
2 a.m.
whatever.
It's actually 2
Some
a.m.
ridiculous amount of time to get this book.
Thought it was 1 a.m. Nope, it's 2 a.m. Set my alarm clock, went back to bed. Bam, bought the book.
Got it.
All right,
I know
so
he's
yeah,
eager to talk about it.
yeah, this is a big release for Horus Heresy. This is the finally all the 18 legions have rules. So it's kind of, I think it's gonna be a fun talk because it's 7th edition based, so it's gonna be interesting seeing how you guys, because you guys played 7th edition, so it's gonna be interesting how you guys react to stuff like to the rules here.
Yeah, well, it's been about like 4 years since I played 7th edition, so we'll see how good my knowledge is on.
Yeah, hence why it's gonna be fun. All right, so going through the lore section, not gonna do that. It's cool. Talks about dark angels, their origins, blah blah blah. The Night Lords, talks about what they've been up to. Talks about the Night Lords versus Dark Angels campaign. Has campaign rules that no one uses. Cool stuff.
Good.
Dark Angel, like for the nerds out there who like the organization part of like Space Marines, like a lot of like breaking down like how Dark Angels, how many companies they have, what the structure is, blah blah blah. So it's pretty cool for that. But we're gonna gut to the fun stuff, which is the rules. So starting up with the Legionis Astartes Crusade Army List Appendix 1, the Dark Angels. So it's essentially their chapter tactics. Well, in this case, they're Legion rules. So all models and units with a special role, which is Legionis Astartes Dark Angels. So, Dark Angels keyword. So they first role they get is Legionis Astartes. Units with this special role may always attempt to regroup at their normal leadership value, regardless of casualties. So back then, if you're lower than half strength, can't rally when you fall back. Well, if you're a Space Marine, you can. So every Legion has
that rule.
Right. One day we'll get morale right. So every Space Marine, that's their version of They Shall Know No Fear. So nothing special there. Now the main Dark Angel chapter tactic is Mastery of the Blade. So essentially, when in close combat, if you have a sword weapon, which is defined as like combat blade, chain sword, power sword, the special Dark Angel swords. So if you're fighting with that weapon against a unit with the same weapon skill, you'll hit them on a 3-up instead of a 4-up, because back then, if your weapon skill is the same, you hit on a 4-up. You compare weapon skills when hitting. This being a game where it's like 90% space marines, that's pretty advantageous in close combat, considering you're probably fighting other space marines. So that's kind of the
Well,
special.
isn't that the name of the game? Is all Space Marines?
Exactly, and that's kind of interesting about 30K, because like you'll see a role like this, like who cares, like what if you have to fight someone with the same weapon skill. Well, if you're fighting space marines, that's definitely going to happen. So the advantage is bigger than it actually seems. I think Ember's Children, they get like when they charge, they get +1 initiative or something, which is pretty crazy considering, again, you're fighting armies with the same initiative as you. So there's just that small +1 can make a huge difference.
Oh, of course.
Love it.
Yeah. They get the Scions of the Hexagrammation. So essentially, you could upgrade your units to be one of the 6 wings, and they get special rules for that. We'll go over that later. And so all legions have pluses and disadvantages for some flavor. So the Dark Angel's disadvantage is inviolate and alone. So models with the Dark Angel special role may never benefit from leadership characteristic or any other leadership related bonus or special role from any other model that isn't a Dark Angel. It's not really a huge thing. I mean, unless you're allying like salamanders or blood angels, like who cares? It's one of those things. It's not really a drawback. Kind of a drawback.
So there is souping in 30K.
Yeah, if you guys remember the allied system, that's there, but it's very rare because generally, like, you just kind of want to have your own legion doing your own things. But if you want to ally in some Imperial Fist, your Ultramarines, you can.
Huh.
I just find it a little weird that they would have the souping system. I mean, I assume you can get like ally titans and stuff out of that, but other chapters, I'm surprised. Ally chapters, or
because in Heresy, because they really dive into the legions, each legion has markedly different special rules, so there's kind of that system. It's rarely done. People usually just go mono, but it's their old ally system.
Oh, okay. I guess it makes sense for if you're doing like narrative games and stuff too, to have that mechanic. Like if it's a battle where like the Night Lords fought the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels or whatever the hell.
Yeah, that's a thing. And I believe there's some novel with that. So yeah, it's for that as well, which is cool. I mean, as long as you don't take advantage of that. So going to the Legion specific war gear. So as interesting about the Dark Angel, since they're the first Legion, again, it's not just that they're number 1; they're literally the first Legion. So they have a lot of prototype weaponry. So some of this war gear is any model that's a Dark Angel with access to a power sword may instead take a Calibanite Warblade for +10 points. And what that is, it's essentially a power sword with +1 strength. So you have the option for that. And again, in mirror match games, that +1 strength can mean a lot. So that's cool. They have that.
Well, it seems like that bled over to 40K.
I know, right? Yeah, +1 strength for power swords now. Everyone learned the secrets of the First Legion. Next war gear. Any Dark Angel can, with access to a plasma gun, can instead take a plasma repeater for a points cost. So essentially, a plasma repeater is it's range 12 inches, strength 6, AP 2, gets hot, salvo 2/3, and twin linked. So it's essentially a twin link plasma gun that's like 12 inches in range. You guys remember the old gets hot, where you always overcharge. You could not choose not to overcharge. Being twin link, which you reroll hits, that's pretty good. Next piece of war gear. So Dark Angels HQs can take instead of a power fist, can take a Tyrannic Greatsword, which is a strength +2 AP3 melee weapon, 2-handed, instant death. So I'm sure you guys remember that rule, instant death.
I'm very familiar.
Do the Primarchs have Eternal Champion or whatever it was called?
Yes, gosh,
Eternal Warrior.
They do have Eternal Warrior. Otherwise, that would be hilarious. Your dude with the sword just pokes Angron to death in 1 melee attack. It's actually really good against the demons, because demons have a lot of multi-wound models without Eternal Warrior, so that's pretty handy. AP3 is kind of because if you're an HQ fighting another HQ, they're probably in Terminator armor or are in artificial armor with the 2-up saves. So
wait. Did you say there's demons? You play demons in
Yes,
Horse Heresy?
the last Black Book has demons. You can play demons in Heresy. So if you have a demon army, you can not only play 40k or Age of Sigmar, you can also play Horus Heresy.
That's a fucking crazy.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool because the demons. So it's how this kind of segue, but the demon how they work is there's a generic demon army list, and there's no like bloodletter data sheet or like demonette data sheet. Instead, you have like generic lesser demon, and you can upgrade it with like hellblades or like rending claws and all that. So it's very customizable. Like you can have flying bloodletters. You could have like demonettes with like beasts or something because you give them the beast upgrade or something, or you have like plague bearers with that are brotherhood of psychers, stuff like that. So kind of cool. Shenanigans ensuing.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, and going to the next weapon. So Dark Angel access to
40k.
What's up?
So they need to give stuff like that to the demons in 40k.
That would be cool if the new codex had like something super customizable like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Next piece of war gear, Dark Angels have access to status shells. Essentially, it's a grenade, and if you hit someone, they're initiative 1. That's kind of crazy. You chuck
plasma
it
grenades.
on a Primarch is initiative 1 for the turn, which means he strikes last.
Jesus.
That's pretty gross. And finally, heavy bolters can be given acid shells for plus 5 points per model, which gives it a flesh bane, so it always wounds on a 2-up. All right, cool.
Yeah, fucking what is that? The chemical thrower, the Malkador, is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah. So horrifying.
That's some crazy shit. All right, now on to more special rules. So Dark Angels have the hexagrammation section. So I think last time we talked about the lore, we talked about the 6 wings. So we
did.
Yeah, so essentially this is the rules part of the 6 wings. So you can upgrade either independent character or a unit leader with a special rule. You pay 25 points, which is kind of pricey, but you get some special rules here. So we're gonna go through just top to bottom. So Sign of the Stormwing. So a model with this is actually kind of familiar for 7th edition Dark Angels players. So a model with a special rule in all models in the unit that's a Dark Angel makes snapshots of ballistic skill 2. So if I'm not mistaken, they had something like that in 7th edition, like a bonus to like snap shooting.
Couldn't tell you. Not many Dark Angels players where I played.
Yeah, I didn't pick up Dark Angels till 8th. But it sounds about right. I don't think they hit on 2s though.
No, it's ballistic skill 2. So remember there's that reverse thing where like if you have ballistic skill 4, you hit on a 3-up or something. So they would hit on a 5-up.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So hitting on 5 sounds about right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the next one is a Sign of the Deathwing. So our favorite Terminator boys. So model with the special roll may reroll the first failed hit roll in the challenge. That's kind of lame. Like, okay, cool.
So niche.
Yeah. Next one is Sign of the Dreadwing. Dreadwing being the burn entire world's wing. Infantry model with a special roll and units it joins may choose to move 4 inches through difficult terrain instead of re-rolling. It's a rolling dice and may reroll failed dangerous terrain tests. So for you guys to play 7th, when you move through difficult terrain, you roll 2 dice, pick the highest.
Yep.
So this essentially lets you forego that to roll a 4. Now this gets ridiculous in the Rite of War, which we'll talk about later. It's the dumbest like thing in 30k. But before that, next one, Sign of the Iron Wing. So when you roll on the vehicle damage table, I'm sure you guys missed that. You treat crew shaken as crew stunned. So crew shaken is you can't move, or no, you snap shoot, and crew stunned is you snap shoot and you can't move. So it's a minor buff, very niche.
God, I haven't heard that in forever.
Oh man, yeah, crew shaken, crew stunned, what, vehicle destroyed,
weapon
physically
destroyed.
Hurts my soul just listening to that.
Good times, good times.
All right, next one, Sign of the Firewing. This one's actually pretty useful. So a unit with the special model with the special roll and units it joins gets hatred characters, and hatred is you reroll hits the first round. Excuse me, of close combat.
Right, standard.
Pretty strong. 3 rerolls. The last one is familiar Sign of the Raven Wing. Model with the special roll, any units and any units that it joins can reroll run, fallback, or thrust distances. So this seems cool, and then you realize in 7th edition, bikes run or turbo boost a fixed distance, so it's kind of useless. if you're running a Raven Wing list. I mean, if you're running infantry, okay, but why you're running infantry if you're playing Raven Wing? Kind of weird. All right. So Dark Angels being freaking secret societies for days, they have further rules to represent characters who are members of secret orders in their legion. So this is a list of upgrades you could take. You pay 25 points again for these upgrades on top of your being a wing. So I'm just gonna go through these really quick. So first one is when you roll against an armor 11 unit, you get +1 strength to your attack. It's very niche.
Okay.
Another upgrade is you get +1 attack when you are charged. That's pretty useful. The next one is you get a bonus to deny the witch. You roll 1 more dice and discard the lowest result. That's useful. Too bad there's not a lot of Psykers in Heresy unless you play Demons or Thousand Suns. But I mean, if you do, it seems pretty useful. Next one is you could reroll failed hit rolls of 1 in the challenge against any model with a weapon skill 5 or higher. That's pretty niche. Well, then again, if you find a challenge, you probably find an HQ model which has weapon skill 5, so get a reroll.
Yeah, but if it's like 7th edition, you're just gonna send up their little lieutenant to die.
Right.
Thus denying you that captain or lieutenant or Primarch.
Throwing your sergeant in. That's funny. Next one is you reroll wound rolls of 1 against models with a toughness 5, or all failed reroll wound rolls for against enemies toughness 6 or higher. Pretty good against demons or primarchs.
Yeah, that's pretty spicy.
Yeah. Next one is +1 attack if you're in base contact with more than one enemy model in a fight. That's pretty good. That's pretty common. That's not that hard to do, I think.
Nope, I'd say that would, out of all of them, it sounds like the best one.
Yeah. See, the last one is this one's kind of trolly against Thousand Suns and Demons. You just reroll all hit to wound rolls in close combat against psychers or people with like a blessing.
Are demons a blessing?
And demons, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That one's OP against demons. So if you're playing your demon friends, take that, Dark Angels players.
Crush them.
Yeah. All right. Now, moving to the rites of war. So these are like the formations for units, or for your armies. So if you guys remember in 7th edition, you could have like formation and stuff. They're not as crazy. Something I noticed about these ones, you guys will see when I start reading them. They're kind of weird and very fluffy, but the gameplay mechanics are kind of strange.
Okay.
You see this with this one, so I'm gonna start with the Deathwing one because you'll see what I mean. I'll say a generic one so you guys have an idea. So there's a generic rite of war. Probably the most used one. It's called Pride of the Legion. So the effects of this is it lets you take Terminators and Veteran squads as troops. That's all it does. You could take veterans and your compulsory troops have to be filled by those squads. And the penalty is if all your Terminators and veterans die, the enemy gets +1 victory point to represent the fact that all your elite dudes are now dead, and no one's going to teach the new people, kind of thing.
Interesting.
So that's an example of a generic rite of war. So I'm going through these specific ones. So the Deathwing rite of war. So effects. So Legion veteran squads and Terminator squads may be selected as troops. Makes sense. It's Deathwing are the elite, so it makes sense you could kill your army with the elite guys. Independent characters that have the sign of the Deathwing upgrade, so you have to pay for the upgrade. Also, you get +1 attack while within 12 inches of an objective. That's pretty spicy. Like you're better near an objective. And finally, Dark Angels that includes a model with the sign of the Deathwing rule get feel no pain 6 up if you're within 6 inches of the objective, and if you already have feel no pain, for example, you have an apothecary in your unit, you get +1, so it's 5 up feel no pain. So far these sound pretty cool. You get +1 attack near an objective. You can take, Terminator squads and troops, veterans and troops, and you get feel no pain near objective. Now this gets dumb.
All right, hold on. I got a question.
Yeah, what's up?
How because if I recall, how 7th edition wasn't that objective heavy. How objective heavy is 30K?
Good question.
It is pretty. All missions have objectives. There's just no if you table, you win, just like in 7th. But a lot of most of my games are actually, that's a lie. Half of my games are decided by objectives. The other half is just getting tabled. But it's pretty centric. All the missions have objectives. Is if you have really good like terrain, if you have a lot of terrain, where you just can't get shot off the table turn one, objectives play a key factor as well. So I would say so. Yeah, like I would say 30K is a pretty objective centric game.
It's not
More so than actually, I mean, it's probably the same as like 8th edition in terms of how important, how spread out they were, kind of thing.
so it's not because I remember 7th edition had a lot of. I mean, they were focusing on objectives. I know a lot of it was killing. Is it the same here or?
You do get points for like first blood and stuff, but most missions you get points for holding stuff or like holding stuff at the end of the game, kind of thing. But there are objectives.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really like Maelstrom where you would like kill a unit, blah blah blah, like wipe more than your enemy kind of thing. It was very more like holding objectives. But
Yeah.
again, tabling still wins.
Now, is it still like? Is it like 9th edition level of objectives, or is it just like?
It's more 8th in terms of how important it is. I think in 9th, it's in my games, objectives are way more important than in 8th, but it's not like in 7th where it's mostly they could win by killing people kind of thing.
Got it. All right.
All right. So once again, you get bonuses in your objectives for Deathwing. Now the shenanigan. So first off, not too bad. All your limitations. All your compulsory troops must be filled by veterans and terminators. Makes sense. All troop choices must have the Deathwing rule that you have to pay for. Okay. This is dumb. After deployment has been completed, the Dark Angels player must place a single objective at the center of the table or as close as possible to the center. At the end of any game turn in which the Dark Angels player does not control this objective, with at least one model with the Deathwing special rule, the enemy player gets +1 victory point or +3 if they actually controlled it. What the hell? Forgeful. You had this cool Rite of War, and you just destroyed by having the stupid like hold the center. Now, if it was something like the opponent can control it, okay, but I'm gonna repeat what I said. If no one controls it, the enemy just gets +1 victory point at the end of the turn. Like, what the hell?
Why? So whack.
That's so weird. And it's kind of fluffy. The Deathwing are used to like hold really important points, but it's like, what? All right, okay, Forge World. And
So weird,
some more generic limitations. You can't have allies. The Warlord must be a Deathwing character or the Lion, and no unit using this Rite of War can be joined by independent characters that are part of this attachment. Same thing as you can't have allies. So yeah, the really good bonuses, but damn, that penalty seems really bad.
Sounds like you're just gonna blob the middle of the board.
Right, and remember, the pie plates are in this game.
Oh,
that's right. I forgot about the templates.
Your templates, man, you bet. And you can have a lot of templates in Heresy. So yeah, guys, if you want to get pie plates thrown at you, play Deathwing in 30K.
Yeah, just drop pod in the middle, right? They had drop pods back then.
Oh, you can totally get drop pods. Yeah, that's true. Just drop your Terminators in your Deathwing companions, and hope you don't get pie plate to death.
There you go.
Problem
solved.
Problem solved. Actually, no. Like, jokes aside, like if you do run like a drop pod list and the enemy isn't stacked with like Medusas or Basilisks or Vindicators, you should be okay. But my gosh. All right, now the next Rite of War, the Stormwing one. So actually no, the Ironwing one. So this one's interesting. So effects. So predators can be taken as troops. So that's one of their bonuses.
Predators can be taken as troops.
Yeah. Legion of Predators ones may be taken as compulsory troops. Yep. And these are full predators with like auto cannons, last cannons, and the weird stuff like conversion beamers and melta cannons. So that's crazy.
Oh man, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Independent characters with the Iron Ring rule in a transport vehicle they are embarked on a 6-up invul. Okay. Land Raiders and Spartans have a 6-up invul now if you're in one.
Oh.
Let's go. Okay. Armored Assault. All non-Terminator infantry units except jump pack or jetpack infantry with the Iron Ring special rule can take a Land Raider as a dedicated transport. So essentially, or a Spartan if you have more than 10 guys. So essentially, your tac squads and vet squads, instead of taking rhinos, can take Land Raiders. So this is the vehicle spam is crazy here.
Wild.
Last Last bonus. If your transport is hit and suffers damage, you can reroll pinning tests or armor saves from being hit. So in seventh, if you get I think a penetrating hit or glancing on your transport, your dudes inside could die. This kind of mitigates that. Limitations. All infantry units in this game must be deployed in a transporting vehicle. Cool. Not really a bad thing. No more than a single unit of each of the following type may be included: bike, jet bike, flyer. Makes sense. I mean, you're doing a tank army. I don't know why you'd want like squads of bikes anyway. Maybe you do, maybe, but it kind of limits that as per the right of war. At least half the units of this army must be a tank. You may not take fortifications or allies, and once again, all your characters must be Iron Ring. Okay. So this is another example of rights of war in 30k. You could have an army of just vehicles, right?
Yep.
Which is crazy because it's just all vehicles with armor values.
Pretty dope though.
Except you're not going against a melted gun spam.
That's true. Melted gun spam is a thing. Roll 2d6 for armor pen.
Oh god.
It's funny. You guys are getting an idea about how like shenanigans 30k could be. All right, storming right of war. So master of the storm of war. Any legion, tactical squad, or assault squad that are compulsory troops with at least 20 models may have a centurion attached permanently to the squad. So essentially a captain. So essentially your 20-man blobs can have a captain permanently attached to it. And this is kind of cool. So Legion Praetors, which are chapter master equivalents, and the Centurions can have guardsman-like orders. So you pass a leadership test at the start of the turn, and you get a bonus. So hold the line. If the order is issued, you get Phenol Plane 6 up. Volley fire. If the order is issued, you could make a Fury of the Legion attack, which is Fury of the Legion is a special role that attack squads have. So if they stand still, they fire twice. So this lets you do it and move, which can get crazy because 20 bolters times 4, that's what, like 80 shots.
Yeah.
That could shred some Terminator squads, and I've seen that shred Terminator squads. So that's pretty good.
You
Full assault, if this order is issued, you get the Fuhrer's charge special rule, so you get +1 strength when you charge. Field reserves, if you you essentially test when you're in reserve. So if you pass the test, you pass it, you come in automatically, and you don't have to roll dice because in 7th edition, you remember you guys had to roll dice to come from reserve.
I forgot about that rule.
Yeah, Jesus.
I just remember my green tide.
Oh man,
never coming on the board.
Everybody remembers that. It was such a glorious, tragic day.
Oh man. Limitations. So all troop choices must have the storming special rule. Okay. No unit as a compulsory troop may select a dedicated transport. It's not like you're buying rhinos for your 20-man blobs anyway. This is interesting. The army must include more legion, assault, or tactical squads combined than the total number of all other units selected. That's interesting because you must have so you can have 6 troop slots. So you can have more than. So so if you want to take like vehicles, you have to match it in your troop selection. So essentially, this kind of forces you to just infantry spam, which kind of makes sense because this wing is all about infantry spam. So that's an interesting limitation there. The warlord must be a storming, or the lion might not take independent or an allied detachment. Standard shit. So this one is just infantry spam. So if you like blobs of 20-man infant, if you like getting pie plated, excuse me, that's a better way to say that. Pick this right of war.
How prevalent the pie plate in 30k?
Oh, every game I've played has had a large blast.
So what? Just like a bunch of vindicators? Or?
Vindicators, Leviathans. So Leviathan, the grab flux is a large blast in 30k. It's like 82 or something. I think what it does is if you're hit by one, you have to roll under your strength on 2d6, which is impossible because your toughness under 2d6 and your toughness 4, so you're screwed, and then you just die. So Leviathans have that. Thankfully, it's 18-inch range, but that's pretty crazy.
My God.
Vindicators, like
they're
quad
24,
mortars,
right?
yeah, Vindicators range 24. Yep. There's this Medusas, which are essentially strength 9, AP 2, 48-inch range pipe plates. So bye-bye squads.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. Pipe plates. If you guys like pipe plates, 30K has that. If you want dudes dying in droves because they're under templates, yep.
There you go.
All right. Next one, the Firewing Rite of War. So Legion Seeker Squad. So like I think they're a fast attack squads with special ammo that can scout. And the Firewing special units can be troop choices, or have to be troop choice, or maybe taken as troop choices. This is kind of cool. So at the start of the game, the controlling player selects 3 enemy HQ elites or Lords of War units as priority targets. All units that are Firewing get +1 to hit, wound, or sorry, +1 to wound and armor pen rolls against these targets. That's cool. It's very fluffy. Firewing is kind of like the assassination wing, so I think Raven Guard and whatnot draw inspiration from this in the lore. So that's cool. You get bonuses against like specific units. I think it's pretty fluffy. It doesn't seem that bad. It's kind of cool bonus. Independent characters that are Firewing get +1 attack when you're fighting a priority target. There's more reason why you want to kill those dudes.
Wait. When firing at a character, or when a character fires at a character?
When a Firewing character fights a priority target, so the units you pick,
priority target. Okay.
Yeah, you get +1 attack. Up to 3 troop choices that have 1 model with the Firewing special rule may be given infiltrate. Okay, that's cool. You could forward deployment. This one seems the most useful one so far. Actually, no, the tank one is crazy because tank spam.
Yeah.
Limitations: all compulsory troops must be Legion Seeker or Assault Squads. All compulsory troops must be Firewing. The Warlord must be Firewing. This is the crippling limitation. So you can only win if the priority targets are dead, regardless of victory points. So if your priority targets are alive and you're like 100-0, you lose. So it kind of skews your tactics. It's very fluffy because like this I guess wing is purely just for killing priority targets. So
if you kill your priority target, do you automatically win?
No, of course not. Still, I gotta win the mission. But if you don't kill them, you lose.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I think I take my chances of getting the little chalice in the middle of the board than this.
Really? You don't like that one?
I mean, if I had to pick of the two.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, hopefully you pick something killable, not like the captain's gonna be hiding in the back for the rest of the game. Because you could pick elite choices, and I would definitely probably pick elite choices, like the Terminators or something. You could pick a Lord of War, so if they have a Bane Blade or like Primarch, could be a target to kill. Raven Wing, next one. So jet bikes and outriders may be troops. Duh, your Raven Wing should have bikes as troops. If you have a Raven Wing characters may purchase hit and run for 20 points. Okay. This is cool.
Purchase that?
Yeah, to purchase the hit and run rule. Yeah, it's pretty expensive. 20 points. That's a lot for hit and run.
Is that for? I assume that's for every unit, not model.
No, it's independent characters.
Oh,
now, I'm not sure if that confers to the unit, but if it doesn't, that's kind of terrible. If it does, I can see it being useful.
I don't think the abilities transfer, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of weird. I guess if you have a solo captain or chapter or praetor in a bike, and hopefully it doesn't get shot. What else do they have here? Okay, units with Raven Guard special role gain outflank and arrive from reserves on a 2-up. That's useful. Ravening units may add +2 to your run or turbo boost, charge, or consolidation moves. That's pretty big. +2 inches to charge is pretty big. All right, and what kind of dumb like limitations do they have? So you can only have fast vehicles, skimmers, or flyers. Okay. So you can't have land raiders, you can't have Spartans, you can't have Medusas. It's fluffy. If you're Raven Wing, you don't want to have artillery or heavy tanks. You can only have 1 heavy support choice. Okay. All jet bikes that are not compulsory troops must begin the game in reserve. Okay. I mean, if they're Raven Wing, you come in on a 2-up anyway, so not big of a deal. All troop choices must be Raven Wing, no allies. So the limitations aren't that bad. You have 1 heavy support choice.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean compared to the other two.
Yeah.
Objective end. All right. This last one. So I've been playing 30K for a long time. This is the dumbest Rite of War in the history of Horus Heresy, and you guys will see why.
All right, well that's saying something.
All right, it's the Dreadwing one. I'm gonna save that rule for last. So Dread Legion, so destroyer squads, which are they're essentially veterans that specialize in radiation weaponry. So they're like super like anti-Geneva Convention units. So those guys and the special Dreadwing unit are troop choices. Okay, standard. All enemy models that draw line of sight to an independent character with the Dreadwing special rule have -1 leadership. Okay, that's the rule. I'll skip that. So units that are Dreadwing can purchase rad grenades or status grenades. So essentially, 30k has these things called rad grenades. So what they do is if you charge into close combat, or the first turn of combat against someone with rad grenades, you have -1 toughness.
Ooh.
That's pretty strong.
That's
Again,
brutal.
yeah, with the mirror matches, that could mean stuff.
Yeah, what was that first thing you said?
What's up?
What was that one unit with the +1 to their power sword? That's gonna be huge. That's wounding on 2+.
Yeah, no, yeah, anyone who can get a power sword can take a Calibanite Warblade instead, so essentially +1 strength. So yeah, your powers, if your units have grab grenades and power swords, yeah, you're winning on 2s. That's crazy good.
What?
It's pricey though, 30 points a unit on top of the Dreadwing rule you have to purchase, so that's plus 55 points.
Is it capped on a certain size unit? Do you pay per guy or just for the unit?
For the unit.
Oh, interesting.
You bet. The Terminators could take this. My gosh, that's damn good. So limitations: all compulsory units must be destroyers or Dreadwings and Trementers. Okay. You must have a Dreadwing. All compulsory units must be Dreadwing. This one's interesting. If the enemy has any units that are not falling back and the deployment zone at the end of the game, the enemy gets +1 victory points or +3 victory points if it is a scoring unit. So essentially, you must clear the enemy deployment zone of units, otherwise it gets victory points. It's pretty hamstrung.
Bad.
Yeah. The warlord must be the lion or have the Dreadwing rule and no allies. Okay, standard.
Alright, so let's hear how terrible this is.
Crap in Harris Heresy. So first half, not that dumb. So before the beginning of the game, you can place 3 markers represented by like a dice or a base, and anywhere within 6 inches of that marker is dangerous terrain.
For you and everybody?
For everybody, yeah.
Okay.
It can't be within 6 inches. It has to be more than 6 inches from a table edge or deployment zone. Okay, that's kind of fluffy because they're all about salty earth, like probably represents like radiation zones or something. Now, the dumbest thing ever. So the whole battlefield, if you have this right of war, the whole battlefield is difficult terrain. Now, if you're playing a 10,000 point apocalypse game with your friends, the whole battlefield is difficult terrain. So every unit must roll 2d6, pick the highest when they move. All vehicles are in dangerous terrain, and all chargers are like -2 or something when you charge roll. Like, what the hell? Who thought of this?
Does this make terrain dangerous terrain?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, regular terrain that's difficult is already difficult. But what the hell? The whole battlefield is difficult terrain.
Hey, I mean, if you want to grieve someone, this sounds like a perfect tier to go down.
It's like, hey, you want to roll for every unit forever for the game when you move? All right.
Yeah, you want to know how we can make this 3-hour game 3 times longer?
Dude, they have to rule this for events, because if you're playing like a giant APOC narrative battle and some asshole Deathwing Redwing guy has this right of war,
fucking shoot me! Oh my god!
Like, okay, dude, like, I don't know. I mean, it's fluffy, yes, but what the hell, like, the whole battlefield. Oh my gosh, this is the dumbest thing in history of Horus Heresy.
You heard it here. Don't bring this to a 10,000 point battle.
Please do not, guys. Or at least like, I don't know, like, or use the marker one. That's fine. Where you pick the zones are dangerous. Like, just cut the other half because that's ridiculous.
That's amazing though.
Oh, by the way, if you're playing Blood Angels and Night Lords or Raven Guard and you love Assault Marines, guess what? Everywhere is dangerous terrain because fly units in 30k treat difficult terrain as dangerous. So yeah, have fun. Bye bye. All right. So now that's the rights of war. That's a lot. That's 6 of them. Most legions have 2. So
that's the benefit of being the first.
That's true. A lot of them have crippling like limitations though. Like, you gotta kill these 3 units or you lose, or like your middle battlefield, gives free victory points to the opponent, kind of thing. All right, going to the
does sound interesting and fluffy, like you said.
right. It's that weird Horus Heresy thing. The line of fluffy and practical game sense is kind of like where do you draw the line? Like the
Well,
difficult terrain thing is pretty big.
well, I mean, what I kind of miss about 40K a little bit. I mean, getting into the game properly in 4th edition, going with Eldar, you had the whole craft world system, which is pretty much like this. Biltan had their aspect warriors, all troops.
Right.
Youthway had a bunch of psychers. Wraith Guard became troops if you took the end, and I miss that stuff.
Yeah.
But now that with the whole the detachment system, kind of makes it all irrelevant.
Yeah.
But to touch on that, is that might be part of what core units is going to be for.
That's true. If you maybe in 40K you'll see stuff like that.
People were speculating that core units would be different based on what army you were using. It's like core bikers for Samhan, or berserkers for world eaters, stuff like that.
Only time will tell when we find out.
Yep.
True.
See how much GW messes it up.
like
It's going to be a catastrophe, but what else is new?
Great. All right, going through the special Dark Angel units really quick. So unless I say otherwise, these are Space Marines. So they have Strength, Weapon Skill 4, Ballistic Skill 4, Strength 4, Toughness 4, 1 Movement, Initiative 4, 1 Attack, Leadership 8.
Whoa! Your Space Marines are only 1 wound, bro.
Damn.
Gotta get that Primaris treatment, bro.
Don't even need Primaris anymore, dog. It's just gonna be base.
Base +2, and now back to 1 wound Marines. Gosh, I feel like an old man after that change is gonna happen. All right, so first up, the Knights Cenobium. These are the Terminators you guys have seen, the Dark Angel ones. So the Weapon Skill 5 base, Weapon Skill 6 for the Sergeant, 2 attacks instead of 1 because they're Terminators, and they have Terminator armor, so 2 up, save, 4 up invul for the Cataphracti. They are Dark Angels. They have Stubborn, Adamantium Will, and this role called Order Exemplars. So essentially, if you guys remember, there was a list of special rules you could buy characters like +1 attack when you're charged, reroll hits against psychers, etc. So this unit can get that rule.
Okay.
So it represents that the fact that they kind of do their homework and like are adepts at different styles of fighting.
Cool.
They all have Tyrannic Greatswords, which was the Strength +2 AP3 instant death swords, which they could replace with Thunderhammers for free. Now, it's interesting because that sword is AP3. So if you're fighting Terminators with this, they will get their full save, because in 7th edition, AP was if you don't meet the AP cap, you get your full armor save. So
okay, that's what I figured it was. I just couldn't remember.
Is it tie? Does it equal, or does it have to be below? I don't remember.
It's equal. You ignore it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're deleting power armor, but not Terminators. And generally, you want to fight. You have your Terminators fight other Terminators. So if I was gonna get this unit, I would just give them Thunderhammers for free.
Are Thunderhammers AP2?
Yes, they're AP2, Strength 8.
I mean, but the swords give instant death, so I mean, does it really matter?
That's true, but if they're getting the 2-up, they're getting the 2-up save, right?
Yeah.
Versus not getting it. I mean, Thunderhammers before you strike last in initiative order, so that's the trade-off. But
yeah,
I mean, if you're fighting demons, that instant death is a no-brainer. You're just deleting like monstrous creatures all day, every day.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would argue the instant death is better.
Yeah. Everything. Okay.
Well, I mean, unless you're going against like vehicles, because I don't think you can instant death a vehicle. I can't really.
No, yeah, that rule doesn't do anything against vehicles. I could see an argument for having like a mix in the squad, some thunder, because you don't have to equip everyone. Like it's per model, so
yeah,
maybe have like a couple with Thunderhammers, and the rest with the Greatsword. Their gun, they have what's called a Plasma Caster. So Assault 2, Strength 4, AP2, ignores cover, and it rerolls Overwatch. It's pretty cute. I mean, it's a plasma gun. It does not have gets hot, which is interesting.
AP2 right there. There's your Terminator killer.
Yeah, it's true. You can just shoot them and then finish the rest off with like a bunch of attacks. The next one, the Deathwing Companions. So these are cool because these are the sick, like half bone, power armored guys.
So sick looking.
Yeah. So They have same stats, weapon skill 5. They have 2 attacks base. They all have artificial armor, so they have a 2-up save. The sergeant has 2 wounds, which is interesting. So they're Dark Angels. They're chosen warriors, which means every model can accept or declare challenges. They're Deathwing, so they get the Deathwing special rules. Deathsworn companions. So any independent character attached to this squad is immune to precision shots, precision strikes, and automatically pass lookout surge. So essentially, like you can't target characters while they're in this unit.
Even with snipers, crazy.
Even with snipers, yep. And Deathwing retinue. So interestingly, these guys aren't a force org unit. So the Terminators before they were elites. So these guys can only be taken as a command squad for your HQs. That's it. You can't take them as a choice.
Okay, that makes sense.
You can give them melta bombs. You can change their great swords for power fists, for anti-vehicle, all that stuff. Because they come with either great swords or war blades. So either the strength +1 power sword or the strength +2 instant death 2-handed one. They can get combi weapons, plasma pistols, and what's called a Cytheran pattern Aegis. So this is interesting. So this war gear, it's a shield. It gives you a 4-up interval against shooting and 5-up against melee. Or you can deploy it. So if you deploy it, you can attack, but the enemy is -1 initiative. Now you can give some of the guys this, and if there's at least 2 models that deploy it, it's -1 initiative for the enemy. So this can be crazy and like mirror matches where you're striking first.
Wild.
And I think that's cool. Now the coolest part about this unit is you can give them jump packs if the HQ they join has a jump pack, and I think that's cool.
What?
For free or
you gotta pay? It's plus 15 points a model for the jump pack, and these guys are 30 points each. So it gets pricey, but that's dope, man. Like your Praetor has a jump pack. You got these Deathwing guys with jump packs. That's that, and like 5-up invul shields. Hell yeah.
They're fucking.
Or if your Praetor is or your HQ is a Terminator, they can get Terminator armor. Same war gear options.
That's nuts.
But only if the character has that.
Correct. Yeah. So it kind of matches the war gear of the guy they're joining or the guy that joins them. So I think this is a great example of like a bodyguard unit. This kind of shows like the interest creep I was talking about before, about how like this unit just feels very thought out compared to like the first couple. Like Death Shroud are kind of meh compared to these guys as a bodyguard unit. Way more special rules, way more customization. That's super cool. This is a cool squad. Dope models as well. Too bad the Rite of War is terrible. They have the center objective one.
Oh yeah, Deathwing. Yep.
All right, next one, the Firewing Enigmatus Cabal. This is interesting because it's a 3-man squad with jump packs. They have weapon skill 5, 2 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 10. One model may take a grenade launcher with status frag and crack shells. They have Calvinite charge blades, which are +1 strength or strength +1 AP3, and you could choose to get rending, but you gets hot. So rending meaning when you wound on a 6, it's AP2, but if you roll a 1 to hit, you gotta make an armor save or you lose a wound. And when you use your jump packs, you get a 5-up cover save. So and they have needle pistols. So this is weird because it's a 3-man squad. I think it's the first unit. I'm sure there's a couple, but it's one of the few units in Heresy that's a 3-man squad. You can't add any more to the unit. That you're just stuck with these 3 guys. They do have 2 health. But I don't know. It's weird.
I got survivability with that 5-up cover save.
That's true. So these guys belong to that Rite of War where you gotta kill the 3 characters. So I guess they're cool because they're jump pack. You pop the charge blade, charge the melee unit or the unit you mark, and hopefully they kills it. Next unit, Dreadwing Interruptor. So these are like the plasma gun squad. So these guys are standard stats, leadership +9 instead of 8. No difference in the stats there. They have plasma repeaters or plasma burners, which are range 12 inches, strength 4, AP2, assault D3 +1, ignores cover, and plasma flame. Plasma flame meaning you reroll Overwatch. No gets hot again. A theme here with Dark Angels and plasma weapons not having gets hot. So
plasma flamethrower, huh?
Yeah. Assault D3 +1. You still have to roll a hit. It's not a template weapon, but it ignores cover, which is crazy because AP2.
Yeah, that's nuts.
The only thing is it's 12-inch range. It's pretty short. For every 5 models in the unit, you can replace their gun with a missile launcher with rad missiles and status missiles, or a plasma incinerator with a suspensor web. So the plasma incinerator is range 18, strength 4, AP2, heavy D3 plus 4 instead of D3 plus 1. Ignores cover, plasma flame.
That's
It
what
has a
your army
suspensor
needs.
web, which means you could move and shoot with no penalty at half range. What's up, Matt? Or,
That's what Travis' army needs.
Yeah, freaking wish.
oh yeah, more plasma. Ignores cover plasma guns. I'll take that.
And
I'll
man,
just take plasma that doesn't get high. Yeah.
plasma
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
get hot. Plasma flamer thrower. I mean,
And
with the flamethrower rules.
the R troops in the
Oh.
Right of War where the whole battlefield is difficult terrain. So if you want to be an asshole and run, ignores cover plasma. It's the way for you.
All right, I'm starting. Heresy boys. Let's do
Let's
this. Do an entire rad army. Let's go. Rad and plasma.
That's actually pretty cool. It's pretty fluffy.
Love it.
They could take a Land Raider as a transport. Okay, cool. But yeah, the main thing is that plasma gun, not gets hot plasma gun.
Spicy, yo.
Okay, this is a crazy unit. This is the Iron Wing Exindio class battle automata. So this is a Men of Iron dreadnought with like a CPU attached with, so it obeys the Dark Angels. Yeah, guys, this is a Men of Iron model.
Sick.
So I'm not gonna go through its weapons because they're kind of crazy. So essentially, it has so it's strength 6, toughness 7, 6 wounds, initiative 4, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 3 up save. So a smattering of weapons. This one here is range 18, strength 5, AP2, heavy 1 blast, barrage, poison 3 up. Another gun is strength range 24, strength 1, AP2, heavy 6, poison 4, ignores cover. This one is heavy 3, strength 8, AP2, land, shock pulse, 24-inch range, and the final one is a template, heavy 1, no cover saves, torsion crusher, which that's the one I was talking about earlier. When someone's hit by this, you roll 2d6. If it's over your toughness, you're dead. Some crazy guns there. It has dreadnought close combat weapon, so a strength 10 in close combat. Has a refractor field, so 5 up invul. So this is kind of interesting. So every time this model takes a wound, you got to roll a dice. Or if at the end of the turn where it suffers a wound, you roll a dice. On a 1, it goes sentient and just attacks everyone.
Oh, it's like a hell brute.
Yep. Yeah, during the movement phase, once that happens, it moves and shoots and charges the nearest unit, friend or foe. But if you have a Tech Marine in your army or a Forge Lord, you could give it a kill switch for plus 5 points. It essentially inflicts D6 wounds on a friendly on this unit in case it goes haywire. So this is weird because it's a Man of Iron unit. Some weird special rules, but it's kind of cool they're exploring stuff like this. I don't know what the model is gonna look like, but it's a Man of Iron. What the hell? I mean, we already have one from Blackstone Fortress, but still, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's interesting that they'd be sprinkling that into this game system of all things.
Right. So those are the special units. Now onto the special characters. So one, we got Cor Swain. He's the guy in the artwork.
Bruce Wayne?
No, not Bruce Wayne. Cor Swain. I mean,
Bruce Wayne will be on the other side of this battle.
The Night Lords.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So this guy, weapon skill 7, which is pretty huge. Standard strength, toughness, 4 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 2 up save. He's a Dark Angel independent character. He is a chapter master. He's a Deathwing guy. Precision strikes, and his warlord trait. He has a standard warlord trait from the rulebook, which I don't have on hand. His melee weapon is it's called the Blade. That's just called the Blade. Interesting name in their Forge World. Strength plus 2, AP 1. Melee 2-handed mastercrafted, and it's instant death in a challenge.
Only in a challenge, huh?
Only in a challenge, yeah.
Cool.
He has a 2 up. What's up?
No, go ahead. I'll ask after.
Okay, and he has a 2 up armor save and 4 up invulnerable, which is increased to a 3 up in melee.
So is this the made up character or is this like story character?
So this is the cool character. This is a story character, not the made up one. So this guy is featured in some of the novels. I believe last week or 2 weeks ago, one of my models was featured on the podcast, and it was this guy. I essentially made this guy into a model.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty standard beat stick. I mean, strength 6 in in melee, instant death in a challenge. It's pretty good.
Oh, I mean, with an AP1 sword, yeah, mowing down fellow brothers, no problems.
Oh yeah,
And what wing was this guy part of?
he's Deathwing.
The
Yeah.
Terminators.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He does not have Terminator armor though, which is interesting. But he does have Master Crafted, and with the Deathwing rule, that's 2 rerolls in a challenge. So this guy, if you fight this guy in close combat, you're dead. And if you're in a challenge.
As most characters do.
Yes. All right, next guy, Marduk Cedra. So this guy's the random guy. He's not in any novels. He's just a made-up character. So he has weapon skill 6, 4 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 2 up save, pretty standard for a special character. He's a Dark Angel. He is chapter master, independent character. He's of the Dreadwing. Special rule: Ancient of War. At the start of the game, after deployment, before the first turn begins, pick an army, and both this guy and friendly Dark Angels within 6 inches of him get preferred enemy against that faction, which is interesting. So you either pick a legion or like Mechanicum or Custodes, and he gives them preferred enemy. Preferred enemy is a reroll 1s to hit, I believe.
Yes.
That's pretty powerful. This is reroll, like rerolls don't exist in 30k, especially, and reroll auras specifically, like you never see that. That's pretty crazy. This is essentially like Rites of Battle from 40k.
Damn.
So that's pretty good. His warlord trait is Regalia of the Shattered. Wait, where's that? Oh, here you go. Warlord trait. So, if this guy's your warlord, then 1 unit of the inner circle Terminators may be selected as a command squad. That's it. That's pretty boring. Okay, that was something cool.
Until he gets his own book, then he can do something cool.
That's true. I'm sure they're gonna shoehorn him in somewhere, which they've done before. Like you have characters that aren't in the novels and suddenly appear in the novels. So he has Cataphractic Terminator armor, and he passes dangerous range checks. Okay. His sword is kind of crazy. The Death of Worlds, range melee, strength +5, AP2, melee unwieldy, and invulnerable saves are reduced by -1. So this guy's hitting with strength 9 in close combat with +5 strength. What the heck? Okay. The lore of this sword is cool. Apparently, this sword is every time the Dreadwing destroy a world, they add some of the metal from the dead world to the sword. So the sword's like really long or something. So it's strength +5, but it's unwieldy. So you strike an initiative 1.
Just this big ass bunch of rocks glued together.
Yeah. I'm sure people are gonna have fun making this guy, or if his model ever comes out.
That's amazing.
The weeb of the Dark Angels right there with his 10-foot katana.
Dude, strength +5. What the heck? All right. Speaking of memes, back to the main man himself, the Lion. So here we go. Weapon skill 8, ballistic skill 5, strength 7, toughness 6, 6 wounds, initiative 7, 5 attacks, leadership 10, 2 up. He is a Primarch, so he's an independent character, eternal warrior, causes fear, adamantium will, has fleet, fearless, and it will not die. Master of the Legion, position, strike position. Standard Primarch stuff, nothing different there. Sire of the Dark Angels. So Dark Angels units in the same army as him roll 2d6 for morale and use the roll 3d6 for morale checks and use the 2 lowest dice. Okay, that's pretty useful. Especially in Heresy where there is no Foundation Loan of Fear, so Space Marines can get sweeping advanced. If you guys remember that rule.
Yep,
all too well.
But if I recall, they didn't get killed in the sweeping advance. Got back into combat.
Exactly, but in Heresy, you don't have that. So if you sweep Marines, they just die.
Oh,
no, he makes it. And that's why I like this rule, because it mitigates that, because you only get swept if you fail the morale check, and this helps with that. And Dark Angels within 12 inches of the Lion get +1 wound when determining close combat resolutions. Okay.
It's a close
Um,
combat buffer.
yeah. Point of the blade. This is a cool rule. So after declaring a charge, instead of rolling, you can just say you rolled an 8.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty powerful, even in 40k. Like making your charge roll an 8.
Some Emperor's Children shit, bro.
So I just say I rolled a 12 and I can do wherever I want.
Huzzah!
Interesting. And you ignore difficult and dangerous. Wow. Okay. So just an 8. You just move 8 inches. It kind of fits what Matt said of this guy being a close combat guy. The Lion's Collar. When reduced to 4 wounds or less, the Lion gets +1 attack, and when he has 2 wounds or less, he gets +2 attacks. Okay, he's even more of a beat stick. Absolute Focus. In any assault phase, the Lion is never required to roll more than a 4 up to hit enemy models, regardless of weapon skills or modifiers. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of -1 to hits, and like this is so weird. So Lehman Russ in close combat, he gives a -1 to hit, which is pretty powerful. But the lore in it is ridiculous. It's not because he's a skilled fighter or anything. It's because his armor is so cold that you move slower when you fight him.
What?
Yeah, so if you look at Lehman Russ's data sheet, it's not like Sire of Fenris or like Peerless Warrior. It's like literally his armor is so cold, it's -1 to hit him.
That's amazing.
How does that even work on like a hot planet?
I don't know, man.
Just have like mini freezers in those giant shoulder pads.
I guess so. But it makes him really powerful because in a Primarch duel, a modifier is pretty strong because of the refrigerator armor. Deathwing Companion, so you can take a unit of Deathwing Companions with the Lion, standard. So he has a 2-up armor and 4-up invulnerable save. The first failed invulnerable save made can be rerolled. Okay, it's pretty good. He has a Strength 7, AP 2, range 18-inch salvo 2 for Twin Link blind gun.
What is a blind gun?
So if you're hit by blind, initiative test, if you fail I think you only hit on your weapon skill 6 or something.
Oh, okay.
Or sorry, weapon skill 1, so you only hit on 6s or 5s or 6s generally.
All right, the blind test. All right.
Blind test, yeah.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now.
There we go. He has status grenades.
Swooping Hawks, I think.
Yeah, Swooping Hawks, the one gun that gave blind.
Ugh,
Sunrise,
awful.
I think was what it was called.
Sun Rifle.
Something like that.
Anyways, Filthy Xenos. So interestingly, the Lion can be given weapon options. So you can either get the Lion Sword or the Wolf Blade. So the Lion Sword is it's the one on Cypher's back. So it's strength user, so strength 7, AP 1, melee, lance, fleshbane, mastercrafted, two-handed. That lance rule is interesting on a melee weapon. So lance is if a vehicle has more than 12 armor, it counts as being 12. Is that right, Matt? Is that familiar? The Bright Lance had that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like armor 14, Land Raider. It would go down to a 12.
Yep. Fleshbane, so always wounds on 2s against non-vehicles. So you can either have that, or we could have the Wolf Blade, which is a giant chain sword. Because in the lore, the Lion is he's trying to find Kurz, and Kurz is hiding on Macragge. So essentially, he deploys that Rite of War against Macragge, and blows up a bunch of like villages and like nice like parks. And Gilliman's like, why the hell do you have to use the Rite of War, man? You know how much dangerous terrain Jack's had to roll. And he gets pit and takes the sword. So now he's forced to use the Wolf Blade. So it's strength +3, AP 2, melee two-handed shred, which rerolls failed wounds, and fearsome ruin. So if your unit suffers 1 or more casualties from this weapon, you roll an extra dice when you're making a morale check and keep the 2 highest.
Wouldn't work if you're going for the morale, but I would assume if a Primarch gets into close combat, I would assume a unit wouldn't be there anymore.
Yeah, probably. I mean, this guy has like 6 attacks when charging, probably like deleting people, shred,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a Lion. Seems like a beat stick, and just a beat stick, which is weird because in the lore he's like some tactical genius or something. But I guess he just wants to kill people in close combat.
Well, he's that like socially awkward kid in the back. Doesn't talk or anything. He just does stuff.
Does stuff. Oh man.
Doesn't tell anyone what he's doing. typical Dark Angel stuff. That's
That's true.
why they're heretic.
All this. Oh
Hey,
my
whoa,
gosh.
whoa, slow down.
I mean, that's the reason everyone hates them. It's that right of war, man. I cannot get over that. Who came up with that? Like, I got a real freaking difficult terrain for the whole battle. Well, yeah, that's the Dark Angels from Horus Heresy. Hope you guys had a blast from 7th edition.
Blast
It
from the past,
was
baby.
quite the experience to remember all the repressed memories of that edition.
A lot of sweating.
Armor values, blast weapons, fun stuff.
Got to pull out all the old rules.
Oh yeah.
Did,
That's all I got.
did the what are these guys? Nighthaunt? Did they get anything cool? Or
Nightlords,
they just stayed the
they
same?
got stuff. So I'm going over the quick changes for Nightlords. So one of the big changes is they get a buff through the Legion rule. So their Legion rule is when they outnumber someone in close combat, they get +1 to wound, and they got buffed to +1 to hit and wound.
No.
Which is pretty powerful.
Ooh.
What else? I believe their Terror Squad, which is their Vet Squad, got a points reduction, which is pretty cool. This is cool. The Raptors, the Night Raptors, got a new rule where in close combat, after after they attack in close combat, you count the number of wounds they caused, and you inflict that many hits again to represent the fact that they're so vicious in the assault. That's a great rule, and they got a points reduction. So all around buffs for Night Lords.
So they got basically attacked twice.
Exactly. Yeah. They got a new
Brutal.
Terminator unit. This new Terminator unit has heavy flamers as a base weapon, and the Night Lord special weapon, which is called a Nostraman Chainglaive, so strength +1, AP3 rending. Yeah, they have heavy flamers based on Terminators, and interestingly, this unit can be taken as an HQ choice if you don't have Conrad Kurz or Sevatar in your army. So a new unit for them, which is pretty cool.
Wait, what do you mean they can be taken as an HQ unit? You mean
They're
like
an HQ.
bodyguards? Like
No, as an HQ unit.
so they,
Like actually, yeah.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Like you have a squad as your HQ.
That's kick ass, actually.
Yeah, right. And you could replace the heavy flamers with like heavy Volkites, which are heavy 4 strength 6 AP5. Range 10 inches though, so pretty short range still. And the unit leader can get a power fist that has shred, which is pretty cool. Sevatar, the first captain, he gets a buff. So before his weapon was AP3, and he had a 3-up save, which is kind of lame for like a first captain. Like, why doesn't he have a 2-up save? So he got buffed, so you could pay an upgrade, which gives him a 2-up save, which you always should, because he's a freaking first captain and an AP2 melee weapon. So good buff there. They add a new special character who is once again one of the unnamed guys who they invented with some special rules.
Just showed up.
Just shows up, exactly. Some reprints of old stuff, and the Night Haunter, no changes there. Just kind of put his roles in. I mean, overall, the Night Lord's got a huge buff. I mean, like that +1 to hit and wound for the Legion rule is pretty strong. Big discounts to their special units. Night Raptors being able to essentially almost attack twice is a huge change. So a lot of the 30K community is saying like if every Legion gets this treatment, we might see more parity in terms of how Legions perform in the game.
Huh.
So and they get 2 new rights of war. One of them is a bike-based right of war, so you can take jet bikes or troops, jet bikes or bikes as troops. And this other one is interesting. So this represents the Night Lords being like a bunch of like opportunistic leaders who just kind of don't follow like central command structure. So that's the reason I'm gonna go over this really quick. So right of war, the cross of bone. So effect. So for every non-compulsory HQ choice as part of this attachment, you increase your number of elites by +1. So Horus Heresy has 3 HQ slots base for the standard force org. So you can get +2 elite choices by filling those slots in. Any independent character in a unit that does not have another independent character in it gets +1 attack. That's pretty strong because generally you don't stack independent characters on a unit anyway. And if you perform Slay the Warlord with an independent character, you get an additional victory point. Limitations is you must have another additional compulsory troops choice. If you make a consolidation move, you must move towards the nearest enemy, or failing that, towards the closest or towards the enemy's deployment zone. Okay, but you cannot take Conrad Kurz in your army, because again, it represents this like these leaders like doing their own thing, which it's the special rule where they get +1 attack if no one else is in their squad. So stuff like that. That's a pretty cool rite of war. It's definitely like a far cry from kill 3 units or you lose the game, or like hold middle objective kind of thing.
Yeah,
A little bit.
This one's interesting.
fluff.
The last rite of war. Where is it? There's a so all compulsory units must begin play on the table, so you can't have reserves. This is interesting. If the game ends as a draw, or the player with this rite of war loses, but all your compulsory troops are dead, you just get +3 victory points.
Wait,
So
what?
this rite of war, I think, is the the guys who like don't do as well, or they're like they commit a crime, and they're like the Night Lords penal battalions, if Space Marines can have that. so if you draw or you lose, but all your troops are dead, you get +D3 victory points.
That's crazy.
Oh, plus D3. All right, that's a little more manageable than an automatic 3 victory points.
Oh, that would be crazy. It's so specific though. You have to like kill all your troop choices.
I mean, wait, you have to kill theirs, or you have to lose yours?
You lose yours, yeah.
I
So
mean,
if all
you
yours
just
are dead,
send them into the front lines. No big deal.
eat some pie plates.
Yeah, there you go.
Make sure your opponent doesn't know about it, and you'll be fine.
Limitations. So so 2 of your elite choices are compulsory. Okay, so Terminators and Tac Squads must die. There you go.
Small price. It's still doable.
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. You have no scoring units in this army. So you can't hold objectives. Okay.
All right, hold on. We might have to rethink this one a little.
Well, it's just compulsory. So your standard, the 2 troops you have to take, and the 2 elites you have to take are not scoring units. So any other troops beyond that and units with a scoring rule are scoring. But it just kind of, I think it asks for infantry spam. So because you need scoring units, and you need the guys who are gonna die.
Sacrificial lambs, yes.
Sacrificial lambs for D3 victory points. But back to the original point, like this is new, and this is the kind of cool stuff I wish all the legions would get. So hopefully with the new books, we'll see more of some stuff like this, updating the old stuff and giving them more interesting things to play with. I can only imagine what kind of word bear shenanigans they're gonna have, or like source word bears would have, or like what world leaders would have. Like
Berserker. Maybe in Horus Heresy 2nd edition. We'll get it.
I hope it will. 7th edition sucks sometimes.
You guys will go into 8th edition.
That's never. Oh gosh, and 40k is in 9th. That'd be funny.
It'll be Age of the Emperor. They're just gonna redo everything.
There you go. Emperor model.
Alternate timeline.
That was a nice blast from the past for there, John. And it has a lot of flavor that like I mentioned earlier, that I wish 40k would bring back. But
yep.
Like I said, with the detachments, they kind of fix that problem. But it would be nice to have that flavor back. I feel a little bit generic.
So you're saying as 40k needs some kind of rule that turns the whole battlefield into a ruin?
Yes, actually.
Absolutely.
I feel like Tyranids could change the landscape so much that it would be all difficult terrain.
There you go.
I mean, all my guys fly, so it's not like it bothers me.
That's true. Just ignore the terrain. Freaking Dark Eldar.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's the new black book. 100 pages shorter than the last one. Same price.
Thinner.
Cool pictures though. Lots of
thinner,
rules.
taller, more streamlined.
Slick. No Warhammer signal or symbol on it. Yeah, that's great.
There you go.
But I look forward to our next talk. Hopefully, next week we'll have some more Warhammer stuff as we're getting closer to October.
Yeah.
We got you guys want to put any speculations out there? Are we saying October 3rd will be the Space Marine Codex?
Seems about right.
Or are we gonna go for October 10th? Because I'm sure this Saturday or Sunday they're gonna announce the pre-order for the book. I don't know why they would announce a pre-order, but I would assume they would be announcing it sometime this week of when the books will come out, pre-order or not.
Seems about right.
Yeah, they
Alright.
usually do like what's for pre-order on Sunday, so
It'll be big news, hopefully.
I hope it's the 3rd, but my gut feeling is the 10th. Honestly,
That makes sense. I feel because they haven't given us a date yet, so
right?
Yeah.
I know they're gonna do pre-orders because they do the limited edition codexes.
Yes.
Or special edition, whatever they call it. So we got that to look forward to. Other than that, I think we'll call it there. It was fun having you guys back on. Travis, you were missed.
I'm glad I made it back in time to listen to this. All the Dark Angels loveliness.
Just in time.
Your boys getting treated right, I think. 30K? Got a
Yeah.
lot more love.
Yeah, it's a lot of rules. In terms of how good they are, it's questionable, but that's a lot of rules.
Still better than in 40K.
Plasma when it gets hot. Let's go.
But yeah, let's meet up next week and we'll see everyone else later.
Copy. See you then.
See you, everyone.